I'm gonna turn things a little bit different today. We're not gonna make a vanilla or chocolate pudding today. We are gonna make coffee pudding from scratch. It's an experiment. I've never done it before, but I'm gonna bring you along. I hope you are all having a fantastic day. My name is Angela. I'm the Inquisitive Farm Wife. If you're new to my channel, I encourage you to go ahead and push that notification bell so you don't miss out on any other content I have to offer. We love showing you how to make things at home from scratch that are easy. I promise, it doesn't take much longer than opening up the box, but it tastes way better. I'm gonna grab my milk and I'll meet you over at the stove. Come on guys, let's get started. Let's turn on a medium heat. I've got my quart of fresh milk. Full fat, friends. All the goodness. And we're gonna bring this up to where it's almost a boil, but not quite. Every once in a while you want to give it a little bit of a stir. We don't want to scorch our milk. A tip that my grandmother taught me was when you start to see tiny little bubbles right around the edges, that is about when your milk is right. Now this was a tip for making custard, but I think the same would apply today. If you've let it set for any time, sometimes it will develop a film. That's also a good indicator that you are about where you need to be. See those there? We're ready. This next step is where the experimenting comes in. We are going to make coffee, but we're going to brew it with milk instead of water. This is one of our favorite coffees. No, I'm not sponsored. My daughter bought this because it's one of my favorite places to go when we go to the city, and I like to get a special treat there. I'm going to put in about 4 tablespoons of coffee grounds, 1 for each cup. I think that would be appropriate. And now I'll just pour in my warm milk. And give this a little bit of a stir. And I'm going to let this just set and steep for about 4 minutes. It's just going to sit like that. But while this is steeping, I'm going to go ahead and start working on some of the next, some prep work here. I want 4 large eggs. I'm going to separate the whites from the yolks. You won't need the whites today. I'm using duck eggs because I do love that big yolk that you get from a duck egg. Of course, these are farm fresh duck eggs. You can see that the whites are much thicker than they are on a chicken egg. Now you can use your hands to do this, but I find that using the shell usually works for me. There we have it, 4 beautiful yolks. I'm going to take this and put it in the refrigerator and maybe save it and make an omelet in the morning. Another thing I like to do with my egg whites is to make homemade waffle cones, but that's a video for another day. I'm going to grab some sugar, 1 cup, You can add a little more or a little less sugar according to your personal taste. That's the thing about when you make things yourself at home. You can adjust all of this. And we need a thickener, which is cornstarch. And I usually use about a tablespoon per cup of milk, so we'll put 4 in there. It doesn't have to be an exact science. Pudding is pretty forgiving because it can be a little more or a little less firm. Now what we're going to do is we're going to mix this cornstarch with this sugar, and this will help it from clumping. This is a trick that you can also use with pectin and sugar when making jam. It has been at least 5 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and gently and carefully push this down. This looks delicious. Back to the stovetop. Again, I'm going to turn this on a medium heat. We will pour in our brewed coffee milk. Get this back up on the heat, and I'll start whisking in this cornstarch and sugar mix. Whoops. And at this point, we can't really leave the stove. We need to constantly be stirring. We do not want lumps. Skip this step and use whole coffee beans and just warm them in the milk if you chose to. I'm just going to keep warming this until it gets to the thickness that I desire. And I love this tool because it will stay flat on the bottom and give me the angle with my handle. It's perfect for gravies and puddings and things like this. And look at that. We are thick. We are good to go. We're coating the spoon. I like to add about a teaspoon of butter for every cup of milk that I use. So I'm going to add this in to the hot pudding. You're a coffee lover like me, you are going to love this. Now what this butter does is it just makes the pudding a little more rich and decadent and maybe slightly creamier. You know, they add fattening stuff in the boxed things. We're going to give these eggs some attention. First, I'm going to go ahead and give them a quick little whisk. And now what we're going to do is something called tempering. So, as I whisk these eggs, I will slowly be adding some of our hot coffee liquid to the eggs. And I'm just going to do this until this bowl is full. You want to do it nice and slow, otherwise you'll cook your eggs, and nobody wants scrambled eggs in their pudding. Take these eggs and add them into the rest of the hot coffee liquid. Okay, the last step is one that you don't have to do. You've got your coffee flavor, that is your flavoring, but I do like a little vanilla in my coffee, and who doesn't love a little used sticker vanilla? So I'm going to put a glug of that in there and whisk it up. And now all you have to do is pour into your serving dishes. Actually, if you're bothered and worried that you might have accidentally gotten some chunks of egg or something like that, pouring it through a sieve will help you to have a smoother and creamier end product. A little trick to put a piece of plastic wrap over the top, and it'll keep your pudding from forming a skin. I'm just going to use the lids that come on my containers. And into the refrigerator this is going to go, and we can enjoy this later this evening. Coffee lovers, you're going to want to make this.